You ever stop and think about what's really going on in your head when you're asleep? I mean, that's a third of your entire life spent unconscious. Well, it turns out that time might just be the most productive part of your whole day. So let's pull back the curtain and really dig into the science. Most of us see sleep as just downtime, right? Your brain and body just switch off to recharge. But what if that idea is just completely, totally wrong? What if, while you're out cold, your brain is actually firing on all cylinders, doing some of its most critical, high-performance work? For literally centuries, the thinking was that sleep was just passive rest. You just lie there. But the latest science, it paints a totally different picture. Sleep is an active, neurological upgrade. It's the time when your brain isn't just taking a break, it's actively rebuilding, reorganizing, and, yeah, actually making you smarter. And what's so wild is just how much potential we're leaving on the table by not getting this. I love this quote that just nails it. Failing to understand sleep is like owning a supercomputer and using it as a calculator. I mean, think about that. We all have this incredible tool inside our heads, and most of us are barely scratching the surface of what it can do. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's talk about your brain's secret night shift. Because far from being off duty, your brain is running this incredibly sophisticated operating system, one that's absolutely essential for your intelligence to even function. So while you're sleeping, picture your brain as this buzzing construction zone. Seriously, it's replaying the day's events, sorting the important stuff from all the useless noise, and strengthening the very connections that form the foundation of your knowledge and skills. It's basically peak engineering time for your mind. So how does your brain even organize this massive job? Well, it's not random at all. It's actually a super structured journey. All night long, your brain moves through these predictable 90-minute cycles, and each stage has its own distinct and super important role to play. So if you look at a typical night, it's really dominated by two main players. About half your time, 50%, is spent in what's called N2 sleep. This is crucial for locking in new skills and facts. Then, another quarter of your night is spent in REM sleep. That's our dream state, and it's basically the hub for creativity and processing all our emotions. Right, so here's the key takeaway. You've got these two powerhouse states. Think of deep sleep as your brain's IT department. It's backing up critical memory files, repairing the hardware, and cleaning out all the junk. Then you've got REM sleep. That's more like your creative director. It's connecting wild ideas, healing emotional wounds, and blending new skills into what you already know. All right, so let's see how all this comes together for what is probably sleep's most famous job, taking all those fragile experiences from your day and turning them into permanent, hardwired knowledge. Okay, so let's meet the hippocampus. The easiest way to think about it is like your brain's RAM, or maybe a temporary inbox. Everything you learn and experience during the day gets stored here first. But, and this is a big but, its capacity is limited. Once that inbox is full, your ability to learn new stuff just plummets. And guess what? Only sleep can clear out that buffer. So here's how the whole process works. Step 1, you encode new experiences. They go right into that hippocampal inbox. Step 2, during deep sleep, your brain replays those experiences, get this, sometimes at 20 times the original speed, and starts transferring them over to the neocortex. Think of the neocortex as your brain's long-term hard drive. That's where all that information becomes permanent knowledge. And the consequence of skipping this whole process? It's staggering. After just one night of bad sleep, your brain's ability to form new memories, to even put new files in that inbox, drops by a massive 40%. I mean, your brain literally cannot learn effectively without sleep. It's a non-starter. This right here is the science behind why sleeping on a problem actually works. Your brain isn't just resting, it's actively working, consolidating all that info. And it's also why pulling an all-nighter to cram for a test is one of the absolute worst things you can possibly do. You're literally stopping the very process that turns what you studied into actual knowledge. Okay, so memory's covered. But is that it? Not even close. Because sleep does way more than just file away facts. It unleashes something that's kind of like genius. Using REM sleep to build these incredible connections between ideas and solve problems that you just couldn't crack while you were awake. See, during REM sleep, your brain goes into this kind of hyper-associative state. The really logical, rigid parts of your brain kind of take a back seat, and this allows it to connect totally distant, unrelated concepts, generate those amazing aha moments, and just beautifully weave new skills in with everything you already know.
And hey, this isn't just some abstract theory. We're talking about real-world breakthroughs. The structure of the benzene ring, the layout of the periodic table, even the melody for the Beatles' song Yesterday. All of these legendary insights reportedly came from a dream. They're a direct product of REM Sleep's incredible creative power.
Okay, so we've got memory, we've got creativity, but what about our emotions? Well, it turns out sleep has another profound job. It acts as your own built-in nightly therapist. It helps you process tough emotions and basically takes the sting out of difficult memories. So here's the cool part about how it works. During REM sleep, your brain replays emotional experiences, but, and this is key, it does it in a chemical environment where the stress molecules are completely shut off. This lets you process the memory, get the wisdom from it, without having to relive the trauma. It's literally overnight therapy. But what happens when you skip that therapy session? Well, the emotional centers of your brain, like the amygdala, can become up to 60% more reactive. What does that mean for you? More anxiety, more mood swings, a hair-trigger temper, and all of that can come from just one single bad night of sleep. And this really lays out the difference in black and white. A brain that's well-rested is stable, rational, resilient, empathetic. A sleep-deprived brain, on the other hand, becomes impulsive, anxious, and defensive. To put it simply, sleep is the absolute foundation of emotional intelligence. So let's do a quick recap of this nightly upgrade you're getting. Sleep isn't just rest. It is active brain engineering. It files away important memories and gets rid of the junk. It connects ideas to make you more creative and a better problem solver. And it calms your emotional brain to keep you stable and resilient. Every single night is a chance to invest in a smarter, more stable, and more creative you. And that really brings us to a final thought. Look, you spend a third of your life doing this, so the question isn't if you should prioritize sleep anymore. The real question is how you can best leverage this incredible biological superpower. So the next time your head hits the pillow, ask yourself this: am I just resting, or am I actively upgrading my mind? The choice and all those benefits, they're all yours.